So that is the flag division, both Division One and Division Two. Lamont Hall, did I say Tykes? I thought I caught myself saying Tykes. That was the flag. We're fixing to go in the Tykes. I don't know why I said Tykes, but that was all Division One flag. My bad. Lamont Hall comes in there. Stop saying Tykes. Yes, boss. You're not the boss of me. Say Tykes if I want to. Division 2, Tykes. Now we're on the Tykes. On the left side of the bracket, CJ Foster, you're always late to the party. It never fails. You are always late to the party. If any of you know personally CJ Foster and you're inviting him somewhere, or he's got to be somewhere at a certain time, make sure you tell him about a half an hour early. That's what I can do with some of my kids. Make sure you tell him a half an hour early. Because it never fails. Once I do something, that's when he shows up and asks about it. Foster, you're just going to have to go back and listen to the podcast when I'm done. Because I talked about that upset. I talked about it. We've moved on. We're on Division 2 Tykes now. Left side of the bracket, I was perfect. 8-0. Thank you very much. I'm just giving you a hard time, CJ. Perfect at 8-0. So here we go. El Paso Bombers, who get past the Regulators 40-6, they move on to face the Pflugerville Hawks, who defeat the Bandits 41-0. Number 1 versus number 8. This is looking to be a good game. I saw a post on Facebook earlier. I don't know if it was the Tykes game they were talking about, but these two teams. The Bombers had a picture of the Pflugerville Hawks and said, "What are they feeding those kids down there?" Welcome to Taifa football, El Paso. Number 1 Bombers going up against number 8 Pflugerville Hawks. I'm going for the upset. I'm taking the Hawks. I'm sure I'll hear about that later. Spartans, the Central Texas Spartans, taking on the Somerset Bulldogs. Spartans defeat the Fighting Ducks 38-0. Bulldogs 50-piece. The San Antonio Junior Mustangs 50-6. This is a number 4. Spartans a number 4. Bulldogs a number 5. Again, I'm going for another upset. Going with the Bulldogs. Number 2, Icon Raiders 34-0 over the Texas Horned Frogs. Oh, was that the Cibolo Spartans? Okay, thank you. They gave me initials. They didn't give me the full names because I know we've got. I think it's Central Texas Spartans. I think we have the Texas Spartans. I think there's a South Texas Spartans. Cibolo Spartans. All right, so Cibolo Spartans. Not the Central Texas Spartans. It's the Cibolo Spartans. My correction. Y'all are just on me tonight. Y'all are just on me tonight. Icon Raiders and the Junior Hurricanes. Raiders 34-0 over the Horned Frogs. Hurricanes over the Texas Spartans 21-0. Taking the Raiders. Lubbock Texans 27-19 over the El Paso Red Raiders. Taking on the Junior Falcons, who beat the Atascosa Aggies by a score of 7-6. I'm going with the Lubbock Texans. On the other side of the bracket, I was 6-2. The 2 games that I missed. The Galveston County Seahawks Tykes team defeated the number 5 La Villa Mighty Cardinals by a score of 40-0. And the RGV Bulls lose to the ATX Wildcats. I don't know if that should count as a loss for me. Took them 3 overtimes to do it. But that was probably an epic game that went on between the ATX Wildcats and the RGV Bulls. Triple overtime. Wildcats get it 35-33. So the Cypress Mustangs face the Bell County Patriots. Patriots defeat the Blaze 13-12 in a nice football game. Mustangs taking care of the Lubbock Red Raiders 47-0. Mustangs are the number 1 team coming in that Division II Tykes. I'm going to take the Mustangs. Southside Cowboys 40-0 over the Killeen Showtime Elite. Galveston County Seahawks getting that upset 40-0 over the La Villa Mighty Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Southside Cowboys. Hamilton Park Bobcats taking on the Texas Storm. They win 41-7. They now draw the PSJ Wildcats, who defeated the Rio Hondo Bobcats 28-0. I'm going with the Hamilton Park Bobcats. ATX Wildcats with that upset in triple overtime move on to face the Central Houston Titans, who defeat the Couch Elsa Little Jackets 19-0. That should be a good game. I'm going to go with the Wildcats, though. And technically, that's an upset game right there if the Wildcats win. Wildcats coming in ranked number 14. Titans moving on to number 6, but I'm going to go with the Wildcats. In Division 1 Tykes, 4 games played. I was 1-1 on one side. I picked the Thunder to beat the JYSF Venom. The Venom proved me wrong. They beat the Thunder 28-0. 210 Outlaws defeated the Brownsville Falcons 40-0. So the Venom move on and face the number 1 Southwest Houston Junior Marlins. As much as I'd like that upset over the Thunder, but for the Venom, I don't think they're going to beat that Marlins team. That's old Billy Mitchell's team over there. They got Dylan Mitchell on that backfield. See, now somebody's giving me squat about the flag, about the Venom flag. I've seen the JYSF Venom fan. Clearly, you didn't listen to what I said. Clearly, you didn't listen to what I said. I said that was going to be an epic game. It was going to be a good game. I don't expect it to be a blowout one way or the other. It's going to be a battle back and forth. But I'm going with the Ravens. I think the Ravens just might have a little bit more. Not disrespecting anybody. Why is it when I make a prediction, all of a sudden I'm disrespecting somebody? That's the part that gets me. Why is it when I make a pick, all of a sudden I'm disrespecting somebody? That's always a question for me. How is it that once I make a pick, all of a sudden I'm disrespecting? I'm disrespecting because I choose against your team. Wow. Unbelievable. Hi, Typha Radio. You're on the air.
Kenny Long.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
It's Coach Josh, man.
Coach,
Cyber Mustang.
how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm messed up about all this, man.
Kids ain't
deserve this, man.
It's been a rough 3 weeks. Rough 3 days.
Yeah.
So when you now that you've had a chance to kind of digest everything, what's been presented to you, the violation that occurred, um, what I mean, obviously we know the kids. The worst thing about this is that the kids get hurt on this whole deal. But what are your thoughts now when you see everything that's been presented to you and what your organization had to face? Where do you go from here?
Well, I mean, this is my thing with that, Kenny. Uh, the allegations, there's more allegations that they're saying are out there. And I'm going to tell you, none of that other stuff is true. What was put out there, what was proven by Tyson, is proven. The other stuff should not even be out there. They're still running us through the mud on the other stuff that's not even proved as real or true. So I'm having a hard time dealing with that. A very hard time. So this person, when you put this name out there, whoever this person they're saying is a mystery person, when you putting names out there on certain kids, why didn't you put it out there on the other levels that we supposedly faulty on? Because it's not true. But the media, the public, think it is, and I have a big problem with that, a huge problem with that.
So let's specify these other allegations because I've heard some wind blowing about it, but until I see something that's more solidified, I don't even talk about it. I don't even think about it. What are these other
But that's the
allegations?
thing, you don't, but everybody else does, and then that's what the problem is. They are killing our organization. That's what's happening. People just taking crap and running with it. They don't know if it's true or false. It's a bone. They pick it up. Guess what? I'm gonna bring it over here and see what I can get with it. And that part right there is what's troubling me. You know, when these allegations came up about Lou, I said, hey, we're gonna let Typha handle it. Whatever Typha decide about it, that's what we're gonna roll with. But to keep bringing our organization down by one person that came into our organization, that, like I told you earlier, that I trusted, I'll take the blame for that. I trusted this man to come into our organization and do good and do right by these kids. But guess what? He didn't trust our process. That's why we're at where we're at right now. And it's wrong. It's wrong.
Well, let me tell you, I heard him on another interview on Football Minds, and he came out and said that he flat out, and it's killing him right now. He said, but he flat out lied to you, and he feels horrible about the fact of what he's done and how it's affected you, it's affected the organization, and the kids that were not even involved in it. So, to my mind, that's been clear. Um, but you talk about
Right, but Kenny, this ain't about me, man. When I do this, I'm so passionate about this. Listen, I don't care. Sleepless nights, Kenny. Driving all over Houston now, or wherever I need to go to get things done for these kids. Going to bed late, getting up early for these kids. This ain't about me. It's always about the.
so.
Hold on. It's always about the kids with me, man. Always.
Well, so I go back to my original question then. Where do you go from here? How do you move forward?
Man, look, we got a bunch of people that call ourselves family, and that's what we are. We're gonna stick together. We're gonna ride together. If Type decides to kick us out, if that's what they decide and choose, we will find somewhere else to play football at. These kids love the game of football. They love the coaches around. These parents love being around each other. And we're going to continue to do what we're going to do. We're going to grow. We're going to get stronger. That's what's going to happen. If it's in Typha or if it's not.
So if you do go somewhere else, let's say Typhon does suspend the organization, let's say
Hmm.
for a year. Do you after that year do you return?
I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I don't know. It'll be a year by year thing, and I will talk with my parents, and I will ask them, and it will be a mutual decision, just like every decision we make over here. As far as I'm talking about the board making decisions, but I will ask the parents as well. Is this something y'all want to do? Because without the parents, you don't have an organization.